4, beginning at verse number 12. James 4, beginning at verse number 12. So glad to see everyone this morning.
Amen.
And to see us doing well. And to thank God He's given us the opportunity to be able to have our tent and give out our information this past Thursday on the 4th of July Festival.
Amen.
And we got we passed out over 100 bags, and we gave out over about 100 and I believe 40 or 160 bottles of water, and more chips than that, and we gave out the Word of God.
Amen.
And so we did good. We had people promise that said they were coming, and some people even told me they had already been to the website and seen us.
Amen.
And so all of that was encouraging.
Amen.
And I tell you, church, even after that, and we had on our T-shirts, and we represented the Dallas Hillside Church of Christ with our church shirts and logo. And my wife and I, I didn't get anything to eat, Brother Turner. I think you and I and Larry in London, I think we missed out on some food.
Yeah.
And so, but when we left, we went straight to Waffle House.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to sleep without something to eat. And so I ate healthy at Waffle House. But what I will say is that there was a couple sitting there, and we walked in, we still had our shirts on, and the man said, I like that. He said, stop going to church and start going to worship.
Yeah.
And it just made me feel good that what we're trying to do, people see.
Amen.
And we want to make sure we continue in that effort of trying to press forward to serve God and show the world that we are the light.
Amen.
And so I want to pray for a co-worker's family. His name was Michael, and he passed away, a gentleman that I saw every morning at work. And either he was the one to be the first in the building, or depending on how early I had to get out on the road, sometimes I would be the first. But we would always see each other, make a point to say good morning to one another.
Amen.
Very educated man in my field. And this past, I believe Friday, I got an email from a job that he had a heart attack and passed away. And Pam was standing there, but I said, something happened on my job. I was going through my phone, and I started talking to her, and I said, oh man, it hurt my feelings. And you just start thinking, that's a person that you see every morning. I talk to this man, Brother Turner, every morning. Now he's gone. And I was telling Pam, I said, man, look, just like that, he's gone.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I thought about the phrase, just like that.
Yeah.
And so this morning, we're going to talk from the subject for a few minutes. Just like that.
Yes.
One moment you're here, and the next moment you're gone.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
One moment you could be in a terrible situation, but God can turn it around just like that.
Amen.
And 1 minute you can think everything is going just right, and all of a sudden turmoil hit.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's it.
And so James, in James chapter 4, James didn't say just like that, but what he meant was just like that.
Yeah.
When he said life is like a vapor that appears for a moment,
Yeah.
and then he said, but it vanished away, just like that.
Yeah.
And so if you have your Bibles for just a few minutes, we're going to speak from the subject, just like that.
All right.
From James 4, verse 12 through 17. Verse 12, we'll begin there. There is one lawgiver, speaking of Jesus,
All right.
who is able to save and destroy. Who are you to judge another? All right, now I want y'all to get that now. I want y'all to miss that. There is only one lawgiver. But we got a lot of people trying to make up their own rules.
All right.
Even in the church, we got folks trying to make up their own rules. But there's only one lawgiver.
Let's go.
Yeah.
He says this, he has the power to save and destroy.
Yes, sir.
Everything is in this lawgiver's hand.
Yes.
He says, who are you to judge another? In other words, you don't have the power. Then he says, come now, you who say, today or tomorrow. In other words, you folks that think you have the power.
Yeah.
He says, you folks that says today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
We will go to such a city and spend a year there. You're making some plans, but you didn't ask the lawgiver.
Yes, sir.
He says, and then we're going to buy and we're going to sell.
Yeah.
We're going to spend a year there, buy and sell, and make a profit.
Yeah.
Then he says, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
In other words, Brother Turner, you making plans for tomorrow. But you don't have any control over tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't have any say-so about tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't. You can't make up the rules about tomorrow. Tomorrow's fate is not in your power.
Yeah.
But so often we talk about what we're going to do tomorrow. We're asking God if it's all right about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so James says, James is about to drop the hammer on him.
Yes, sir.
He says, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
He said, but what is your life? All right. Now he said, he's trying to let them know that your life is a short span.
Yes.
He says, but what is your life? He says, it is even a vapor. You ever seen somebody smoking? Or you're cooking and smoke is coming off the pots?
Yeah.
And then that smoke travels on and it just vanishes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's saying from birth we travel on and one day we just vanish away. When we look at life and when we look at this vapor that James is talking about, he said it appears for a little time, comparing to the time of God. God is eternal, and this little short, even if you live 100 years, that's just a little time when it comes to God. You said, Brother Smith, that's a long time. No, that's a short time when it comes to God. So when we look at it, he says it's for a vapor, appears for a little time, and then it vanishes away. Just like that. And then in verse 15, he says, instead you ought to say, in other words, instead of you talking about this little vapor of a life you got, he says you ought to say, if it's the Lord's will, I'll do this or that. He says in verse number 16, he said, but now you boast in your arrogance. We done got so bold that we just think tomorrow is coming. Huh? You got folks that lay down in their sins. You got folks that go to bed drunk, intoxicated. You got folks go to bed arguing and mad and fussing and fighting. You got folks that's doing all type of sinful things and still lay down to bed. Your heart is full of jealousy and anger and envy and strife, and you lay down to bed not knowing that it could be just like that. There are many people that laid down and didn't get up again. When we think about this, church, this message is designed for us to understand. Take advantage of God's time. You're not on your time. We often tell people, look, you got to, my time is precious, and that's true. But it's not your time, it's God's time. You just own Y'all should have got an amen on that one, Brother Turner. I should have got an amen on that one. Now listen, he says in verse number 17, he says, therefore, to him to know to do good and do it not, to him is sin.
Yeah.
In other words, what James is trying to say, you know that you need to get the authority from God regarding your next minute.
Yeah.
He said, now if you don't do that, if you step above God and start talking about what you're going to do in the future, he said, that's sin. He says, when you boast, if you go back to 16, in verse 16, he says, such boasting is evil. You can't boast about what you're going to do tomorrow.
Amen.
Man, listen, we got to understand that we live second by second. A lot of people say we minute by minute. You second by second.
Yes, sir.
Seconds come before minutes.
Amen.
You need to take advantage of every second that God has given you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that every time you get into a heated, ugly battle with a person, you wasting seconds?
Yes.
I want you to hear me now.
Yes.
Every time a husband and wife get into a heated argument, and most time about nothing, you are wasting precious seconds.
Amen.
You're going to be doing something more better with your life than wasting every time you use your time for jealousy, envy, and strife.
Yes.
You're wasting seconds.
Yes.
You get on alcohol and drugs, folks that's going in and out of prison, you're wasting your seconds. You're wasting your time when it comes to your salvation with God. We don't have any time to waste. God has just been giving us His grace and His mercy. And we've just been taking advantage of the grace and the mercy that God has been given to us. That's why Paul said that this grace that God have given me did not go in vain.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Because it's precious time.
Yes.
We've been on a series of things that money can't buy.
Yes.
Money can't buy time.
Yes.
I don't care how much money you got. There's a whole lot of rich folks, Brother Turner. Done died. Their money couldn't do them any good.
Yes.
Because money can't buy time.
That's right.
Because we are second by second. Not only that, your life can change in a second.
Yes, sir.
For the good or for the bad.
Yes.
Your life can change in a second. All you have to do is stay in prayer.
Yes.
My son has been away from me for a while.
Yes.
Away from me, Brother Turner. And I thought I just stayed in prayer and gave it all to God.
Yes.
But just like that, he's ringing my doorbell.
Yes.
Ringing my doorbell. And if it's the Lord's will, today I will meet my granddaughter. Just like that. But I tell you, Brother Turner, all you got to do is stay with God.
Amen.
And your life can change in a second.
Yes.
For the better or for the worse.
Yes.
You remember the rich young fool in Luke chapter 12. And beginning at verse number 13. You know the story. That this rich young fool looked at all that the blessings that God had given him.
Yes.
And he says, look what I got. And he didn't give God no credit. And he says, what I'm going to do, I'm going to build, I'm going to tear down these barns I got. And I'm going to build bigger barns. But he didn't give God any credit. And then God told him, he said, thou fool, just like that.
Yes.
Your soul is required of you.
Yes.
You went from thinking about, look what all I'm going to build and put together and store all of my things. But just like that, God changed him in a second and said, thou fool.
Yes.
When you got all this stuff. He said, well, I'll take you on out of here.
Yes.
He said, then whose things will these be?
Yes.
In other words, you just accumulated a lot of things to pass on to somebody else.
Yes.
Listen, church, don't waste your time I'm not trying to tell you not to be prosperous, but don't waste your time trying to have a bunch of things. It's all right to have nice stuff. I like nice stuff.
Yeah.
But make sure you put more priority on serving God,
Yes.
living a godly life.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Tomorrow is not your decision.
Yes, sir.
Somebody said, what you talking about, brother? Tomorrow is not your decision. You living on borrowed time.
That's it.
When we look at Proverbs 27 and verse number 1.
That's it.
Proverbs 27 and verse number 1. The Proverbs writer says, do not boast about tomorrow,
All right.
for you don't know what a day may bring.
Yes.
You don't know, tomorrow might come and you're not in tomorrow. Tomorrow might come and you don't have enough energy or strength to even deal with the affairs of tomorrow.
Yes.
You never know when you have a heart attack.
Yes.
You never know when you're going to have a stroke. You
Yes.
never know if something happens and you lose your mind.
Yes.
You don't never know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
But we got to prepare ourselves
Yes.
to take off to heaven
Yes.
at any time.
At any time.
Now, I don't know, you might not go to heaven, but you're going to take off.
Yes.
You might not go to heaven, but you're still going to take off.
Amen.
And so, when we look at 1 Kings 20 and verse 11. 1 Kings, I got some funny story, Brother Turner. 1 Kings chapter 20 and verse number 11. Now, I don't have time to go through the whole thing. But now, there was a king by the name of Ben-Hadad.
Okay.
And then there was a king of Israel by the name of Ahab. All right.
Okay.
And so you got Ben, which was the king of Syria. There you go. I have to find it, but turn on some of these glasses ain't right. And then you have Ahab, king of Israel. And the king of Syria, he sent a message to the king of Israel.
All right.
And that's God's people. And he told King Ahab, he says, now look, I want your silver, your gold, and all your wives. And I want you to prepare all these things for me to take. And so then the king of Israel, Ahab, he told the elders about the message he received. And so they told him, don't give him nothing. And so they sent back a message to the king of Syria. And they told the king of Syria, he said, now look, I'm going to give you the first request that you asked for. He said, but that second request, I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
But look what he said in verse number 11. I'm going to read it slow so you can catch it now. He says, and the king of Israel replied, tell him, the one putting on his armor should not boast like the one taking it off. I want y'all to hear that now. I think y'all missed that now. He said the one that's putting on his armor. He can't boast like the one that's taking off the armor. In other words, you can put your armor on and die in battle. He said you don't have no bragging rights. He said, but the man that put his armor on, that goes to battle, then he takes his armor off. He's the one that's still alive.
That's right.
So just because you put the armor on,
Yeah.
don't mean you're going to be alive to take it off.
Amen.
Just because you get up in the morning, don't mean you're going to go to bed at night.
Amen.
We got to live our lives not knowing when the last time we're going to go to bed.
That's it.
So what he's trying to tell the king of Syria is, don't you start bragging now.
Yeah.
Don't you think you're all that big and bad.
Yeah.
He said, just because you put on some armor to go to battle, don't mean you're going to be able to take that armor off at night.
Yeah.
He said, don't brag like you done already won. That's what he's trying to tell him. Don't brag like you already done won the battle, because you ain't won the battle.
Yeah.
And listen, I want y'all to know something. We haven't won the battle just yet.
Amen.
We still in the battle.
Yeah.
You got to live on unto death.
Yeah.
The Revelator John writes in Revelation 2:10, be thou faithful unto death.
Yes, sir.
Gotta keep that battle on unto death.
Amen.
And listen, don't let your time pass. See, you gotta understand we on borrowed time.
That's it. Amen.
Don't lay on your deathbed regretting about things you didn't do in life. Live a full life spiritually.
Yeah.
See, it might be some things you want to do, but that may not be spiritual things.
Amen.
Make sure everything you want to do is spiritual things.
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about, Brother Smith? And Jeremiah 46 and verse 17. Jeremiah 46 and verse number 17. Where Jeremiah writes, he said, there they will proclaim. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, was all knowing. He has let his appointed time pass him by.
Yeah.
In other words, he wasn't nothing but mouth, is what he's trying to say. He was just a loud mouth.
Yeah.
And he let his time pass away. We can't be people with just big mouths. Some of us just got big mouths and not doing anything. We don't have any action behind our big mouths. What are you talking about, Brother Smith? James said it best in James chapter 1 and verse number 22. James chapter 1 and verse number 22. Where James says, be doers of the word and not hearers only. Otherwise, you are just deceiving yourself. You can talk a good game, but if you're not walking the walk, it's all in vain. Listen, you can put your suit and your fancy shoes on and your big hats and your pretty dresses on all day. He says, and you can talk and be hollering amen all day long. Jesus talked about that. He said the Pharisees, that's how they behave. He said, now, when you don't be like them, for they get out in the streets and shout, and then they proclaim to be holy. They're not acting holy. They just want you to think that they're holy. They just have the religious fortitude. They just have a religious character on the outside to make people think that they are religious. But inside, they are raven wolves. He said, you got folks, they moaning and groaning. They want you to think that they fasting, that they so spiritual. Look, I am sacrificing. I'm fasting for God. He says, and they get out where everybody will see them moaning and groaning and putting on a show. God, Jesus said, don't be the type of people that put on a show. He said, be doers of the word.
Yes, sir.
We got too many people putting on a show. Too many people talking about God, but not doing God. Listen, I'm here to tell you, church, we got to do better when it comes to God.
Amen.
That's it.
In Romans 2 and verse 13. Romans 2 and verse 13. For it is not the hearers of the law who are righteous before God, but it is the doers of the law who will be declared righteous. Listen, you can hear a sermon all day long. You can get in your car and turn on your religious stations all day long. You can put your religious CD in your a radio, plug your phone up to your, I know the new cars got, you just plug it, but turn it got a USB, got Bluetooth. And so you can play your spiritual music all day long, which is all right. You can listen to sermons and scriptures all day long, riding up and down the freeway. That's all right. But if you don't apply any of that to your life, to how you live, it don't mean nothing.
Amen.
Listen, church, we got to do better when it comes to serving God. Because this is not our time. How do you know, Brother Smith? In 2 Corinthians 6 in verse 2. 2 Corinthians 6 and verse number 2. For he says, in a favorable time, I listened to you. And in the day of salvation, I have helped you. He said, behold, now is the favorable time. Your Bible may say the acceptable time. He says, the favorable time. He says, behold, now is the day of salvation. Today is the day of salvation. Why didn't he say tomorrow is the day of salvation? Because tomorrow is not promised.
That's it. Amen.
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 Look, we draw to a
Have
close.
mercy, Lord.
We draw to a close. Don't waste your time in this life weary. Because God can fix it just like that.
Yes, sir.
Don't waste your time worrying. Because God can fix it just like that. I don't know what you're going through. But just stay in prayer.
Oh, yes.
And let God fix it just like that.
Yes.
That falls into the scripture of Hebrews 11 and verse number 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Yes, sir.
We don't know how God is going to allow it to get fixed.
Yes.
You just have faith in God that He has the power to fix it.
Yes.
Not that He's going to fix it,
Yes,
but that He has the power
Yes.
to fix it.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
church, I want you to understand.
Preach.
Don't ever give up on God.
Yes,
And
sir.
Philippians 4 and verse number 6. Philippians 4 and verse number 6. I'm about to be through just like that. I'm about to be finished with this sermon just like that. Philippians 4 and verse 6. He said, don't worry or don't be anxious about anything.
Yes.
He said, instead, pray about everything.
Yes.
He said, tell God what you need. And thank Him for all that you already have.
Yes.
In other words, you got to pray to God for those things that you need. Now, I'm not talking about the things that you want,
Yes,
but
sir.
the things that you need.
Yes, sir.
And then while you're praying for what you need, thank Him for what you already have.
Yes.
Amen.
Beautiful.
You
Beautiful.
got to learn how to thank
Have
God.
mercy.
That's it.
Huh?
Yes.
Listen, even in Matthew chapter 6, He says, therefore I tell you.
That's it.
He said, I'm in verse 25, church. He says, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life.
Yeah.
He said, what will you eat or drink?
Yes.
Or about your body.
Yes.
He said, what you will wear. He said, is not your life more than food?
Yes.
And the body more than clothes?
Yes.
He said, look at the birds of the air.
Yes.
He said, they neither sow nor reap,
Yes.
nor gather unto barn. He said, let your heavenly Father feed them.
Yes.
Are you not more valuable than they?
Yes.
Then in verse number 33, he says, seek ye first the kingdom of God
Yes.
and all of His righteousness.
Yes.
And all of these things will be added to you.
Yes. Yes.
So look, all the stuff you worried about. He said, you just stay with God.
Amen.
You just stay with God. I don't know what your situation, I don't know what your vice is. I don't know what's caused you to sin. I don't know what other person in your life that's causing your head to hurt. You know, folks can cause you to have a headache. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, you might have learned to pray over it, pray through it. But the reality is, we are in the human body. We are in physical form. And people can get on your nerves.
All right, preacher.
But He wants you to don't worry about it. He
Amen.
said He wants you to pray about it.
Amen.
And that's what we have to do, Brother Larry. We got to stay in prayer. Even though things may not be what we want them to be. Stay in prayer.
Yeah.
Because God can fix it.
Amen.
Just like that.
Yes.
We could be here today and gone tomorrow.
Yes.
Just like that. You can have a job today and be jobless tomorrow. Just like that.
Yes.
You can be jobless today, but have a job tomorrow.
Right.
Just
Like
like that.
Yes.
I was driving my work vehicle and I started praying, Brother Trent. I left the job.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get tired. Sometimes when you are on that grind at work, you say, I can sure be at that house to get me some good sleep. But I know that sleep don't pay no bills.
Yeah.
So you got to get out on that grind and get it.
Yeah.
And so, I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so, you know that I was driving and, Brother Trent, I thought about the blessings that I had.
Yes.
And I thought about even though that particular day that I was feeling kind of tired that day. I've been working hard.
Yeah.
And but I thank God in the midst of that being tired that I still had the energy to your work keys. We don't have no work for her. I had to think about what bills would go unpaid if God all of a sudden, just like that, allowed something bad to happen in my life. So I had to thank God that I can keep on pushing. Because your life can be changed just like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I think about the blind man,
Yes, sir.
I think about the man that was born blind.
Yes.
And the disciples asked him, so who sinned, him or his parents?
Yes.
And Jesus said, neither. He said, this was done so that the works of God may be seen.
Yes.
And so when Jesus healed the blind man, then the Pharisees, always somebody want to spoil your party.
Yes.
Then the Pharisees asked the man, who is this sinner who healed you?
Yes.
And the blind man had enough sense to tell him, say, a sinner or not.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
But what I do know, I was blind. And now I see.
Yes, sir.
See, Jesus can fix it.
Yes.
Just like that.
Just like
Just
that.
like that. You got some problems, but he can fix it.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes.
I remember Lazarus. Now, in a hopeless situation.
Yes.
Huh?
All
When you are
right.
talking about your situation, it's hopeless.
Yes.
As long as you got breath in your body, it's not hopeless.
Amen.
But when the breath leaves your body,
Yes.
it's in a hopeless state or
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
But when you have a God with all power,
Yes,
Come on,
sir.
he can fix your hopeless situation.
Yes.
Lazarus was in a hopeless situation.
Yes.
But the same God that
Yes.
died on the cross.
Yes, sir.
When he speak out in your faith.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When he speak out in
All
your
right.
faith.
Yes, sir.
There was a whole lot of folks
Come on,
in the graveyard.
Yes, sir.
There were a whole lot of people that took their last breath.
Yes.
And now Lazarus is among those folks that is no longer breathing, Brother Turner.
Yes.
He's in a hopeless state with the rest of the folks.
sir.
But when God got favor in your name,
Yes.
all he has to say is, Lazarus, come forth.
Yes, sir. Beautiful, beautiful.
All these folks around you dead.
Yes.
And God can
Yes,
pick
sir.
you out.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
God picked Lazarus
Yes,
out
yes.
of all the dead folks.
Yes.
He said, Lazarus,
Yes.
come forth.
Preach, brother.
Listen.
Yes. Preaching
I want you
today.
to know something.
Are you preaching?
Listen, I want you may have some problems,
Yes.
but I want you to learn to search out for God.
Yes.
I want you to look for him.
Yes.
I want you to go find him.
Yes.
I don't want you to just go up to his door. He said, I want you to come up there and knock.
Yes.
Because he says, I am the door.
door. Yes.
I want you to learn how to knock on his door.
Yes, sir.
And we learn that the Bible says you have not
Yeah.
because you ask not.
Yes.
We want you to understand something.
Yes.
We want you to never give up.
Yes.
Search for God.
Amen.
Be like that woman that had the issue of blood.
Yes.
When she heard about Jesus.
Amen.
I know you guys have heard about Jesus.
I know.
Maybe somebody on Facebook have never heard about
Praise
Jesus.
praise.
But you heard something today
Yes.
about Jesus.
Yes.
Listen, if you heard something
Yes.
and you got some problems in your life, be
Yes.
like that woman, be determined to get to Jesus.
Yes.
And when you touch him,
Have mercy. Have
Amen.
mercy. Yes.
he can say,
Yes.
somebody
Yes. Touch
done
me.
touched me.
Yes.
And the disciple says, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Master.
Yes.
He said, you talking about somebody that touched you.
Yes.
He said, we had all this crowd of people.
Yes.
And folks is pushing and shoving.
Yes.
How do we supposed to know? But all of these people out here pushing and shoving in this crowd. And you say, somebody done touched me.
Yes.
Somebody special done touched me. Somebody with the faith has touched me. Somebody determined has touched me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
He
sir.
said, because all the virtue has gone out of my body.
Yes.
And then the woman was revealed.
Amen.
And Jesus said, your faith has made you whole.
Yes.
Church, I want you to know,
Preaching today.
don't give up on
Lord,
Jesus.
have mercy.
Don't give up on God.
Yes.
Because he can change your situation
Oh, yes.
just like that.
Yes.
The message is yours. You come by hearing believing, repenting, confessing, and going down that watery grave of baptism, and you'll be added to God's family, the church.